All right, Sisters fans, we have the title and synopsis for Season 7, Episode 13. This should air on May 29th, so the last episode in May, or the second episode in May since the show comes back May 22nd. All right, Episode 13, Who Can I Run To? Andy is presented with an offer to help take Gary down once and for all. Danny and Fatima can't seem to keep Karen's big news to themselves. Now, let's start with the last part first about Danny and Fatima not being able to keep Karen's big news to themselves. Now, the big news is obviously the fact that, there are two baby daddies as opposed to one. I think this goes back to the picture or the scene from Season 7B's trailer where we see Zach, Fatima, Danny, Aaron, and Karen over at Karen's apartment. Now, I've always been wondering, like, why in the world is Danny over there? Like, Zach and Fatima make sense. I guess either the hospital sends Zach an email or gives them a phone call to let him know the results, and then they go over to the apartment to talk with Karen. Maybe Danny's there to kind of make peace or something. Maybe Andy or someone talks like, you ought to go over there and apologize, even though she honestly shouldn't. But I don't know. Maybe that's how they all wind up there together, I suppose. But regardless, Danny and Fatima can't seem to keep the big news to themselves. No offense, but aside from Andy and Sabrina, who else is there for them to tell? I mean, yeah, you could argue like Sabrina would tell Maurice and Danny would talk to Tony. I mean, does it really matter? Karen, I mean, no offense, but people are going to know at some point. I mean, like, let's say when they see two different men pushing the strollers or something like that. I guess it's one of those things where she doesn't want the tea to be spilled while she's testing baby daddy number 2, who may or may not be Aaron. Let's keep that in mind. I mean, these characters do things off screen we don't know about. Just saying. Like, for example, did we see Zach go stop to get lunch and either coffee or tea for Fatima before he brought it to the law firm for her? No, we did not, but we know he did it. So who's to say there couldn't be Rico or some other dude that Karen slept with in between the time frame of the season 2 ending where she and Zach had the office sex to the early season 3 episode where her and Aaron had sex at her apartment. So I really do feel like, Karen wants to keep things on the DL until things are, confirmed. But, the hospital, hey, you're going to have two different dads there when the babies are given, born. So it's something else. And we know Sabrina isn't one to keep secrets because remember, she was the one that, was blabbing her mouth to like, Rich and Tony. Oh, Karen's having twins. And it's like, well, I guess Karen didn't say keep it to yourselves, but whatever. So that's pretty much all I have to say about the back half. And I love how Danny and Fatima can't seem to keep it to themselves, showing that these two are forming more of a bond. Now, Andy is presented with an offer to help take Gary down once and for all. I wonder if this is a situation where the whole ordeal with Andy prepping for a wedding with Gary in the back half of the season, I wonder if this is all a setup. Not that Andy has to marry Gary or else, but perhaps she's put in a scenario where it's kind of like, hey, we need you to be on the inside. And the best way to do that is for you to get back into a relationship with Gary. And then from that, we can bring him down because you'll be on the inside. It's kind of like in the Oval where they wanted Sharon to become a mistress of Hunter to get incriminating evidence. That way they can bring him down or something to that effect. Now, maybe I'm giving it a bit too much thought, but I really want to know how we get to the point where we have Gary in the parking garage threatening Andy as in, hey, you're going to be the next one they're looking for, to, oh, they're planning a wedding. So this should be interesting. But with that being said, that's really all I have to say about this particular episode title and synopsis. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video.